Hello, people. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. Player ratings time with Lucas, all the way from the US of A. I'm in such a mood, such a fed up mood. It's unreal. I'm going to be honest. I really can't be bothered to do these player ratings, but the show must go on. Anything you want to add on, Lucas, before we get cracking, mate?
No, I think everything we needed to say and what has been said was released on the afterthought. I highly suggest if anyone's in a mood to vent or share some similar feelings to go watch. But yeah, I think we said everything that we needed to say, really. And I guess we'll, if we can, expand a bit more on these ratings. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Let's get into it. Get this show on the road. Start off with this man, Alphonse Areola. What we saying about him, mate?
Felt a bit bad for him today. What was in front of him was really, really poor. But the first goal, he should be doing a lot better. There's really, as a goalkeeper, there's never an excuse for the ball to ever go in between your legs. So, but for that, you know what? It wasn't just him. It was a bunch of other players, but he didn't look really that on it today. He did have a pretty good save towards the end. Yeah. I think it was Mavropanos was free on goal, headed it to his left, and made a decent save. But I'll give Areola. This could be harsh, but I'm going to give him a 4.
I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10, mate. The reason why I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10 is this. That first goal, it shouldn't go through his legs, not at his near post. The second goal's a good goal, but should he do better on the second goal, even though it's a good bit of play? He's nowhere near the goals today. Nowhere near it. Whether that's defensively, I don't know, but I thought he was just non-existent. But we will get to the defenders in a minute. Epic says, I forgot the game. Was it trash? Yeah,
worse.
Yeah, it was worse than trash, mate. Even trash has got a fucking thing. Right, let's move on. I'll give him a 3. Right, let's come to this guy, Wan-Bissaka. What do you make of him, Lucas?
Didn't think he was that great today. But again, I think that's a testament to him. This was probably his worst match in a West Ham kit, but he wasn't terrible today, but not very good. Yeah, and he was part of a real stinky defense. I'm going
to ask you something. Is him going forward a problem when really defensively we need him to sit and stay there and be solid?
It's an issue when both fullbacks go forward, in my opinion. Because even in my opinion, if Wan-Bissaka goes forward, I think Emerson should stay back, and vice versa. And I don't think Emerson is too bad in that kind of possession-based back three when we have too many players forward. But you obviously, you know how I feel about Emerson. I really rate him. But I'm not a believer in the Lopetegui tactics of both fullbacks going that far forward. So, in my opinion, one of them should go forward. The other should stay back to form that back three that we saw today. So, again, I don't have an issue with him going forward. I don't have an issue with him staying back. If it was me, I'd want him to be the one that's staying back and let Emerson go forward because he wins a lot more fouls. He's better going forward, dribbling-wise, and creating to an extent. So that's how I feel. For my rating, again, this isn't really on him. Like, he's gonna. I think he'll move on from this match. I'm gonna give him a 4.
Yeah, I agree with you. 4 out of 10. I felt sorry for him today. I really do. The first goal is on his side. If memory serves me right, he goes forward and right. And what it is, where he's trying to go forward in this 3-5-2, I think it is, that Lopetegui's trying to play, or 3-5-1-1, or whatever it is, he's leaving gaps, and obviously the gaps are not being filled. I feel sorry for Wan-Bissaka. I personally would say, like, let him be a right back and be a defensive right back, and not ask him to go forward. Like, I think we've got loads of players going forward, but no one's defending.
It's a bit of an issue because Wan-Bissaka is a decent dribbler of the ball. He does have a few tricks up his sleeve, so you do have to give him a little bit of freedom to go forward and maybe create something. But yeah, that was one thing that I was aware of before he joined. He's great one-on-one, great defensively in that area, but his positioning and his awareness does lack a bit. But still, because he's such a good one-on-one defender, he's able to like make up for it most of the time. But yeah, today, not great.
Let's come to this man. Mavropanos. Right, where is it? Where is it? You know what I'm going to do? This.
Emotional damage.
And this is what we see every time.
No, God, please, no! 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 No!
This fucking shit, mate.
Yeah.
I'm going to be straight. Like, I've been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. Why is Mav playing? Yeah, he was a part of the team last season that held 70 plus goals. I'll go first in this one. I'm giving him a fucking 2. I thought he was terrible. Just terrible. Out of position, slow. He done one good thing all game. That was an header. That he headed it away. Other than that, it's just not good enough. What I can't get, Lucas, before I hand it over to you, is you sign a up-and-coming centre-half in Todibo, yeah? I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, yes, he's going to be the real deal. It is now September the 21st and this geezer's not even in the side. That is a worry for me. Like, I don't get what people are seeing on that. I'll give him a 2 out of 10. Absolutely brain-dead defending.
We talked about it on the afterthought, and I presented the question, and again, it's a worrying one. Both worrying. Like, why isn't he playing? And both possible answers, they concern me. Either Lopetegui rates Mavropanos more than Todibo, or somehow Todibo is not yet fit. I genuinely believe both are a concern because I don't know how Todibo can't be fit yet or ready to play. I get the whole preseason thing. Like, he was looking for a club. He wasn't training with anyone. He was. I'm obviously going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He is a professional. I'm sure he is training by himself to an extent. But even if he didn't, we're not far into the season. But in terms of like training sessions, international break, he should be along, in my opinion. But that's neither here or there. Mavropanos, absolute disaster today, an actual car crash. My worst player today is between him and someone else we will come to. Actually, no, him and one other who I thought were practically equal today. Twins, I'd call them. But Mavropanos just absolutely awful today. He just has a habit of coming way out of position for 50-50s. And it's one of those things that either works or it doesn't. There's never an in-between. It's either successful or it's not. He doesn't really set himself up for success that great. So I'm going to give him a 2 today.
I'm going to get to this comment. Todibo can't just be given the shirt. Well, I'm going to be honest, mate. If he can't be given the shirt, then who else is there? Because Mavropanos shouldn't be given the shirt either.
I agree with that. But the only thing that's concerning is what I just presented. Either J-Lo rates him more than Mavro, or rates him more than Todibo, or Todibo's not fit. It's concerning all around. But I totally agree. No one really deserves it. But I don't know. It's a tricky one.
Right. Does Mavropanos deserve to be starting for West Ham? So there you go. There's your answer.
But Todibo doesn't deserve to start either.
Yeah, but if he's the centre half in there, who's been signed by West Ham, who's highly rated,
I would think he would have the upper hand. He'd have the nod to start. But deserves wouldn't be the appropriate word.
Well, it is what it is.
I'd rather see Todibo than Mavropanos. That's what I think is correct to say, or what most people, I think, are thinking.
Let's go to Max Kilman. I felt for him today. This was the first game really this season where I looked at him and I thought, "Oh, you're all over the place and all." I'm not going to go too mad on Max Kilman because I think other players were shit. And it's the old saying: if you've got shit players around you, it's going to make you shit. Do you know what I'm saying? To the point. What did you make of Kilman, mate?
I thought he was arguably the best of a bad bunch, but still not great. I did feel a bit sorry for him just because, like, the way we were set up, he is kind of like he's walking into a fire, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
a fire that he really didn't. What's the word I'm looking? A fire he didn't really start. He's kind of there to put it out consistently today, but he was okay. But it's hard to really give him It's hard to give anyone a rating, part of that defense, anything higher than a 4. They held 3 goals, even if it's not all entirely their fault. Like, I'd probably give him a strong 4. I can't give any of the defense a 5 today. It's impossible.
Yeah. I'll give him a 4 out of 10. I make mine short and sweet. I think it's just that was all bad. Do not understand the system. Do not understand the back 3. Is it a back 3, a back 5, a back 4? I've got no clue. I'll give him a 4. I'm with you on that. Comes this man, Emerson. I actually felt for him today because he was trying to go forward and make stuff happen, but all the goals come on the other side. So what are you saying on him?
Again, I thought him and Kilman arguably the best of a bad bunch. But again, I can't give him anything higher than a 4. He was part of a shocking defense today, even if he did a few good things.
Yeah.
And again, Wan-Bissaka and Emerson, they really Emerson a bit more, but like I just don't really see them benefiting from both of them overlapping and getting so far forward, because there are a lot of people that say that Emerson doesn't track back. Emerson isn't a good defender. Some people say that about Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well, about tracking back or whatever, but it is so hard to do that like 70 times a match when you're instructed to go so far forward and the other fullback isn't back. When they're both going forward, it just causes disaster, in my opinion. But I'll give Emerson a 4.
I'm going to go with you on that. A 4 out of 10. I thought he linked up well with Summerville in moments.
Yeah.
Obviously, is it just all the goals come on the other side, didn't they? Let's be real. So, I'll give him a 4 out of 10. We'll move on to this man, Edson Alvarez. I'm going to give you, that guy there, some praise right now. He said this a long, long time ago. Do not put this man centre half. And he was getting mocked, laughed at, told he's a fucking yank who hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. How right he was today. Because you put him centre half, he's got no pace to get back, no recovery pace, and he's not that good in a centre half position. Lucas, I'm going to let you go for, mate. Go first.
To answer Kane's question, what did you all give AWB? I gave him a 4, so I don't know if that's worth a war or not. I'm here for it, but Alvarez today, shocking. Literally, whatever I said for Mavropanos, the same for Alvarez. They were both absolutely shocking today. And again, I just don't see why Lopetegui set us up the way he did. It's like the same. It's a bit the same with Soucek playing as a 10. Why on earth would you put Alvarez in that sort of position to have to really play that way? But it's a little bit different because Alvarez is a defensive midfielder. He does have defensive qualities and traits, but that doesn't necessarily translate to being a center half. It is a bit different, but I expected him to defend better than he did today. He didn't defend well in the midfield. He didn't defend well when
I don't think he knew where to be, Lucas.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think he knew where to be. Like, let's get this right here. Yeah, because I'm going to try and get this right because I'm so angry tonight, but I'm trying to really go through this. Yeah, Mavropanos and Alvarez. Yeah, right here, right now. That first goal should be prevented. Either Mavropanos has to come across because like Alvarez is not
Or
there.
everyone should just be switched on, but they
Yeah,
weren't. But
right.
to keep it short, I'm giving Alvarez a 2, the same as Mavropanos. They both can hold that 2, and they can both hold being our worst players today.
Yeah. For me, I agree. I'm gutted. I don't mind him slipping into a back three when West Ham are in the game. But slipping into a back three in the first few moments of the game and you're all over the place and you're trying to play your wing back so high with no pace at the back. Remember, West Ham have no pace at the back. We don't have enough
You
of
have
where
no
to get
pace in
back.
the midfield either.
Yeah, not no pace altogether, mate. The only fucking pace we've got is Howland pace, and that's about it. Anyone remembers them? Great comedians back in the day. 2 out of 10 for Edson Alvarez for me. Gutted. Absolute gutted. I feel like he's being hung out to dry, but rightfully so, to a point. Let's come to this man. He was literally there. He wasn't there, and he was subbed. A fucking nightmare. I'm going to shout out someone, and I see it on a clip on TikTok. We are West Ham podcast. Now, they don't really get a lot of mention because other YouTubers are available, but he said it on there, and I made him 100% right, and he got it absolutely spot on today. He said, "You played Rodriguez in the middle with Alvarez, we're so slow." And I'm going to be honest, I think a lot of people have blown smoke up Rodriguez's ass to make him out to be this player, but in fact, he's just a bang average sort of defensive midfielder. I don't know where to go with him. When you're bringing on Andy Irving and Soler to try and change it, well,
And let's
would
not
you go?
forget he got hooked half an hour in practically. And I'm not even afraid to admit how wrong I am. I think on one of our shows I was like, you know what, this guy's going to be my hammer of the year.
Yeah.
So I will massively take the L on that one. I will wear that to the shop. But yeah, you know what? I might have to put. You know what? He's going to actually have to become a triplet because I think he's going to hold a 2 for me as well today. There's no shot on earth you can get hooked 30 minutes in, 35 minutes in. But he was bad. He wasn't good. And again, same with Alvarez to a point. You could put that down to Lopetegui in the way we set up today. But, mate, he did not do one thing good today. He was really bad as well. And again, everyone will have their different opinions and different ways of analyzing why he was bad today. And more often than not, I always look at it 50-50. Quality and then what I think his instructions and his role is during the match. So for me, it was a bit of both, but it's hard to justify getting hooked 35 minutes in. You just don't get hooked 35 minutes in, not injured, for tactical reasons. He was very bad.
I agree with that comment. You're being kind with it too, mate. I'm giving him a 1. He's lucky to get a 1, really.
Ooh, worse than Mavro and Alvarez?
He got hooked on the 35th minute. What more do you need to see? We was 2-0 down. We could have been easy 3 or 4-0 down. Like, do you know what I'm saying? If he didn't, just imagine if Lopetegui didn't sub him. It would have been chaos, mate. We would have been in 6s and 7s.
I'm saving a 1 for someone else.
Well, fair enough. 1 out of 10 for me for Mr. Rodriguez. We'll move on to this man, and that is Lucas Paqueta. Is he your 1?
No.
Okay.
But another stinky performance. He's just inconsistent, isn't he? Like, when he shows up, it's like magic. When he doesn't, it's very frustrating. And as of late, he's just been frustrating. And I don't know. Again, it's down to ability and tactics and stuff. And today was just, again, everything was all over the place. So for Paqueta, I'm going to give him a 3.
I thought he whipped in a few good balls in. He done a few good one-touch stuff. But I do agree with you. This is not the Lucas Paqueta that we're seeing to a point. Like, we're seeing a player.
And was he really playing like as a 10 today? because with Alvarez dropping into the back three,
He wasn't.
he essentially had to drop into the 8 or basically in the midfield with Rodriguez. So like it just wasn't good. And again, tactics, quality on the day, just not a good mix.
I don't know what we was, mate, if I'm being honest, with him either. So, yeah, I made mine pretty short and sweet. Ray says here, yeah, are we playing the wrong tactics or has Tim bought the wrong players? I think we're playing the wrong tactics, mate. I think if you was to set West Ham up as a counter-attacking side, we said it on the afterthought, and say, right, you come and break us down, yeah? And all this about entertaining football, I'm sorry, we're just not Man City or fucking Liverpool. We're just simply not, yeah? But if we could hit teams on the break, Chelsea hit us on the break really a few times today, and they could have scored tons of goals. Do you know what I'm saying? What are you saying on that comment before we move on, Lucas?
To answer the question, I would say I think we're playing the wrong tactics. But at the same time, I don't think our squad building has been great. I think we've signed some really good players, but that can only so much can come out of that. I said it on previous shows that it's just this isn't the mid-2000 Barclays anymore. You just can't put 11 great players out there and let them play. The game is too far advanced now. And again, the players we signed have been good, but the squad is not great. There's too many selection headaches, if that makes sense. And I think that's an issue, especially when the manager doesn't even know what his best 11 is yet. And even in his best 11, there's at least two of our best players playing out of position.
Captain Caveman says this, yeah, this is the team that everyone wanted. I did want this team, but yet we look worse without Soucek and Antonio. Make it make sense.
I totally agree. Minus one player.
I disagree because Rodriguez shouldn't be in there as a covering sort of DM. Do you know what I mean?
That's what a lot of people wanted. A lot of people don't want Soucek anymore.
They don't. But then you've got other options in there. Andy Irving, bring him in. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
That's probably the most damning thing about all this. And I said it on the afterthoughts. I did not think it could get worse than last week, but it did. And the fact that it did, or it was worse with the most 95% of the preferred lineup everyone wanted to see. It's a terrible feeling.
That is
because in my ideal world, I would have Soucek in for Rodriguez. I'd have Todibo in for Mavropanos. And to me, our strongest 11, sadly, I think does include Kudus on the left, which I hate to say. That's not my strongest 11, but I think that's what Lopetegui sees, sadly.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. What you just said just before we move on, I'll take that off quickly. 3 out of 10 for Lucas Paqueta is that was one of our strongest lineups. If you take out maybe one player out of that team, maybe Mav and put Todibo in, and maybe Rodriguez to a point, that's our strongest team, and we got absolutely annihilated to a point. So yeah, let's move on to this man. Who I'm going to be honest, I was pleased for him today. I thought he had a go. He should. I believe it's a penalty. You believe it's a penalty. Yeah.
1,000%.
I rate this kid highly. I do. Yeah, I want him on the left. I believe he just needs a goal and he'll kick into gear. What you saying about Crescencio Summerville, mate?
I thought him and him and another player were our bright spots today, but again, not necessarily good enough. It's hard to rate him. It is, because I feel like what anyone says, it might be a bit too harsh or it might be a bit too much praise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I think this is the definition of a agree to disagree type rating. I don't know. We might be on the same wavelength. I'm going to give him, I'm in between a 6 and a high 5, but I'll probably, you know what? I think he deserves a 6 today.
Yeah, I am going to say a strong 6. I thought he was a trier. I thought he should have got given the penalty. He got fouled a few times where the referee was just a fucking idiot. I'm with Captain Caveman there, 6.5. So yeah, I can see what people were saying about Sevens because he actually showed potential. He does show potential, and this is where I've been screaming it for ages. Like I've been saying it from the rafters. He's like, why do you need Mo on the left when you got Summerville who
It's
not as good, but
it's just difficult because basically it's Summerville and Kudus competing on the left, and it's a good debate to have if Kudus is 7, if he plays a 7 out of 10, if he's still better than Summerville on the left. But we all obviously know that Kudus is way better on the right. It's weird. It's a weird debate that really shouldn't have to be had, but here we are.
Let's move on to this man, Mohammed Kudus. What you saying, mate?
Again, I'm probably gonna give him the same rating as Summerville. Him and Summerville were our 2 bright spots today, and I thought they done the most out of anyone. And not really a lot to report. And he put in a great cross, a great ball for Summerville in the middle of the box early on, but sadly, Crescensio's like 5'7", so didn't get to it. But yeah, he was fine. So he gets a 6 for me. Nothing more, nothing less.
I agree with everything you said. One thing with Mo is when he's on that right hand side, he's a threat. And he had a shot early in the game before they scored. I think he should do better there. I felt for him today because he is a trier and he picks the ball up and he has to go bombarding through people, like because other people can't just get the ball down and lay the ball in.
Yeah, most of the time I'd say yes, but it does get frustrating sometimes that he has that mentality because there are certain situations where if he just picks his head up, he can play that ball that we know he can. But again, it's hard to blame him for doing that because like there is a lot of times he just has to take the game by the scruff of the neck and do it himself.
See, I disagree with Trojan on this. He goes 6, still too selfish for me. Takes on shots that always got to be blocked. Yeah, but if you don't shoot, you don't score. Like, and I want Mo to have shots and try and make stuff happen. Like, are we going to just what are we saying about Mo then? Just let him get the ball and cross the ball in. Like, we're playing 90s football when we shouldn't be.
Second best finisher at the club for me.
Yeah, he is, mate. So what are you saying? 6?
I gave him a 6.
Yeah, I'll give him a strong 6 for me. I thought he was all right. Moving on to this man, striker, captain. What you saying about Jared Bowen, mate?
Again, this one's weird because I thought Bowen. Again, I'm not criticizing his effort or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure he did not have a lot of touches of the ball today. He was a bit anonymous.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not trying to cause a debate or anything, but we've said the same thing about Soucek, and we've absolutely berated this guy. And in my opinion, Bowen put in a bit of a similar performance, and he's captain. But again, not all of that is his fault. The same with Soucek. If Soucek only has 14 touches in a match when he's playing as a 10, that's not necessarily all his fault. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
But with Bowen, for me, the effort was there. It wasn't a captain's performance, and when he is the captain now, he is our best player, arguably, with Kudus. I expect a little bit more, but again, the tactics, the way we set up, it did not benefit him a lot today, playing up front. So, for me, I said on the afterthought I thought he was poor, but I don't know. It's tough. It's between a 4 and a 5 for me, but I'm gonna stick to my gut, and I'm really not opposed to the other side of the debate or whatnot, but I'm probably gonna give him a 4. He's probably if someone were to give him a 5, I wouldn't argue. But for me, I expect a little bit more in a London derby.
I've got to disagree with you on this one. I have to. This is where me and you might disagree on Mr. Jared Bowen. Right. First off, pressing from the front was excellent today from him. He was running around, chasing the ball down, but our midfield was non-existent. Now, with a better midfield, that pressing from the front, we are going to score more goals and make stuff happen from him being pressing from the front. That goes on the tactics today for me. Yeah, because the tactics that everyone was pushing up and Chelsea's played one ball straight for the middle of the first counter goal. every single time. So I thought the pressing was good from him. Did the ball come to him enough? No, it didn't. Yeah, but he's a threat in there. Do you know what I mean? He's more of a threat than what Antonio's been. Do you know what I'm saying? And I get the love affair with Mikel Antonio, but he just doesn't do enough. He just doesn't do enough. And with Bowen, you can rotate in game. If it ain't working out, you can bung him on the right and swap players around. He had a shot, if I remember rightly, in the second half, which was blocked. But other than that, he didn't really do a lot. But I think the damage was already done. Once Cole Palmer scores that third one, the game's well and truly over.
What, 5 minutes into the second half? 3 minutes? Whatever it was. Yeah. Or basically, all I'm saying is I've heard this story before with Bowen when he's not having the greatest of games. Like what you just said, people have said about Thomas Soucek, but they're quick to give him to absolutely berate him, give him a 2 or a 3. All I'm saying is just because it's Bowen, I'm not going to give him that pass. Like, respectfully. Like, I love Jared Bowen. I love Thomas Soucek to bits. But, again, it's nothing to really, like, argue about. We're only – what are you going to give him? A 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah, we're not far off anyway. I said, I've heard the same thing with Soucek, but a horrible rating. People ready to lash out. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Captain Caveman doesn't agree with me, but I'm sorry, for Krug and Antonio, he's not the answer. They're too slow. And if we're going to be a pressing side, it all depends on what we're going to be, ladies and gentlemen. We're either going to be a counter-attacking side, a possession-based side, or a long ball side. Now, you make your mind up in the chat. You tell me what you want West Ham to be, and I will say yay or nay on it. For me, West Ham tried to come out today and go toe-to-toe with Chelsea, and we got what we deserved. Fuck all. You know what I mean? If we would have played a counter-attacking style there, sat back, sat deep, allowed Chelsea to come onto us, then hit them on the break, we would have been deadly.
People don't want to see that at home, and people will slate the manager for doing that. But to me, I don't care if we're home or away. I want us to play the best tactics that will get us a result.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to this man, Thomas Soucek. You mentioned him. He come on for Rodriguez. What did you think?
It was a bit weird because he was. Again, I honestly don't know where he was playing today. If I'm being honest with you, he was there.
Yeah,
game was already practically lost in my opinion. But even though the scoreline says differently, I think the mentality was not there today. And Bowen even said it in the presser that they weren't in it. They just were never in it today. So Soucek, I'm going to give him a 4.
Yeah.
He wasn't good.
He comes on, and the first thing he does is have a shot on goal straight away.
Yeah.
Which was mad.
As first touch, yeah.
First touch, yeah. For me, a slight improvement, but nothing major, like Troy says in the chat. I agree with him. I'll give him a 4. Same with you. Soler, what were you saying?
Tough one, because I don't see it with him right now, and I'm going to give him time just like anyone else, but I don't see it, and it's another wrench or spanner, as you say, to throw into the mix, and I want to see Soler in the 8 next to Alvarez next.
Yeah.
Like we're running out of options to see in the starting 11, so that's one of them too. But I'm not seeing it right now. Didn't think he was great when he came on. I'll give him a 4.
I think the game was gone by then. I'm going to be honest. So I ain't going to knock him too bad, even though we're 3-0 down at home with a full stadium. I'll give him a 4. Like, what did you give him?
A 4.
Yeah, I'll give him a 4 and all. For me, he looks too small. Looks tiny, doesn't he, for the Premier League?
I don't really like changing my ratings, but I might be being a bit harsh. I'm going to change it to a 5. I don't care what anyone says. Give him a 5.
Well, I will stick with my rating. I'll give him a 4. We'll move on to this man, Mikel Antonio. What are you saying?
5.
Yeah, I'll make my short and sweet. He comes on. He played. Did he play left wing today, Lucas? Someone said he played left wing. I know he played on one of the wings.
Right wing, I saw him on.
Yeah, he was on the right wing, yeah.
I
Yeah,
just don't know anymore.
I agree with you. Right, Irvin.
5. I felt a bit bad for him. A bit of a pity substitution, a bit of a testimonial substitution. But it is what it is. 5.
Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this. Is there an opportunity that this man could end up in the fold at West Ham?
If Lopetegui sticks to his word and has any sort of bollocks, yeah. But again, I just don't see why we'd keep him if he's never going to play, and we essentially turned down £15 million, which could have been spent towards Duran or someone else. So
yeah, I'll give you 5. Mr. Cresswell.
5. You put in a really good ball.
Yeah,
to Jared Bowen towards the
and
end, I
Soucek.
believe.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah.
So 5.
Yeah, 5.
Another testimonial substitution.
I certainly was. Let's come to the ref. What we're saying.
I didn't think he was awful today, but that pen's a pen. And again, in my opinion, he should be seeing that on the pitch. VAR, a bit of a disgrace not to give it. So I'm gonna give him a 4.
I thought I've got to put that down. Stay away from the phone, James. Right. I thought there was yellow cards that he missed. For Fafana, he got booked, but he should have been booked before that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the other centre half, was it Tosson? He does a foul, doesn't get booked. It's definitely a pen for me. I think when you are being pulled and you go into the box and you're still holding, we've seen penalties for less. Let's be honest. So I think that's a pen that they didn't get right. Other than that, the game.
I'd love to know why it isn't. I want to hear. Hear like the conversation in the VAR room why it isn't.
Well, I've got no clue on that, but I'm going to give the ref 5 out of 10. Right, we'll move on to this man, Julian Lopetegui. This is going to be fun. I'm going to go first, and I'm going to hand it over to you, Lucas. For me, this geezer's got no clue what the fuck he's doing. I'm going to say it quite openly. He does not. Are we playing a back 3, back 4, back 5? Please, someone in the chat help me. Yeah, because Alvarez is playing the back 3 and we're getting countered. We're open in midfield. One thing I am going to say today, which is inexcusable, complete inexcusable, is the lack of fucking energy that we had today. Like, lack. There was no energy whatsoever. There was no running. There was no commitment. Now, I can understand it if West Ham had played Thursday night in the middle of Europe somewhere and we're travelling back and we wasn't on it like that. But that today is a major concern when you're having a week's rest and a week's prep for a big game against your London rivals and there is no effort whatsoever. Lucas, what are you saying, mate?
I told you I would save my 1 for later, and Lopetegui is going to have to hold a 1 out of 10. Really, the only thing he done well was the lineup, really. But the tactics and the setup were that bad that he's going to have to hold a 1. Again, whoever watches us regularly, you know, Mitch knows, Jay knows, everyone knows my feelings on Lopetegui. Never been a Lopetegui guy, never been a fan, never really wanted him here. But because he is part of the West Ham family, the West Ham club, I'm going to back him until the end or until it is an absolute disaster and a forest fire that needs to be put out. But I'm not a fan. I don't know the style that he plays or he's trying to play. But in terms of just today, tactics horrible, setup horrible.
It's just wrong. It's just, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, I hear you. And one thing I will say is you've stood by your guns. You stood by your guns with Lopetegui.
Respectfully.
Yeah, respectfully, you stood by it. You said, Jay, I'm not convinced on him, but I will back him, but I'm not convinced. Yeah. I was more sort of thinking to myself, well, he's going to have the firepower now and the quality to make West Ham go to another level. I need someone to tell me what the I need someone to tell me what the process is. Well, because I hear these words, trust the process. Now, I can't trust a man who does not know how to get midfielders into fucking defence. We've got our right winger playing left wing. It's like I've got all the players together and we're just chucking players in anywhere and having a kick about over Stratford. And that to me is a major concern. I am very worried, like extremely worried. I said it on the preview the other night. I'm concerned. Yeah, I'm seeing stuff that I see many, many years ago with Avram Grant, and I see it with Pellegrini. Now, I'm not going to go too extreme and say West Ham are going to get relegated.
Yeah.
I'm not. But I do not feel that we have. Well, I don't feel where we're going. I don't.
We're not this top 6 contender that everyone thought and is saying we are.
Not a chance.
In my opinion, people that said that people that said that Lopetegui would be an upgrade is an upgrade. In my honest opinion, nothing controversial, no hatred. I think they were just blinded by their displeasure and their hatred for one former manager who done a lot for us, and that's fine. But don't let that block or blind your opinion on other things. You know, like. Again, Lopetegui, no shot in my opinion. And again, I could be wrong. I hope he proves me wrong, and I say that openly. I just don't see the upgrade. And again, you know, I know a lot of people know. People are calling this a 10 out of 10 window. We should be fighting for top 6. Some people were pushing for top 4. Just I don't see it yet. I don't think we will see it, but I hope he proves me wrong. There's nothing more I want than European nights again.
I agree with what you're saying, right? The only issue I've got with him is that he needs to what he is. He's trying to do too much in regards to the tactics for me, right? Instead of just sitting there going, right, 4-3-3, and that's how we're going to play. We're trying to play 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. Then we're going to a 3 at the back when we're out of possession, and it's just all over the place. Like. The issue that I've got with Lopetegui right now is I've seen nothing. I've seen nothing of any note to go, wow, this is what it is, yeah? And I think social media and I think all these media platforms are out there, yeah, do blow smoke up like someone's arse a little bit. Yeah. I think we've done it. I rolled me fucking hands up.
We've all done it.
Right, we've all done it. But I think on this one, you've got to look at Lopetegui and say, well, you've got the personnel, you've got the players in that you required, yeah. That the head, the technical director that we will speak about in a minute. And then I don't know what he's trying to do, right? And that's the thing. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know. Like someone said to me the other day, shout out to George, right? He said, James, we're none of these things that you're saying. What we are is we pick the ball up from deep and we hit it long, cross-field passes. And I'm thinking if that is how we're going to be, then we're going to have a rough season, mate.
That's the only thing we do know. And the fact that we are horrific at defending in transition. But again, and it is a bit weird to get used to because under Moyes, really, we only had one style of playing. But now with Lopetegui, he's someone that he's not afraid to change things on a whim, which again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it does not help that we have no identity. If we had an identity and we're doing stuff like that, you can maybe get behind it. But the fact that there is none, you can't get behind something that's not there.
I agree with you 100%. And the issue that I've got, which is another concern, is do we look like we can grind the result out?
No, absolutely not.
Right.
Actually, Wednesday will show me. If we set up to counterattack, low block, maybe park the bus a bit at Anfield, and we come out with a draw, maybe go to pens, I'll sway my opinion a bit. But the way we've been playing, no shot we're grinding out results.
And this is another thing.
Because Fulham, that we did not grind that out. That was luck.
See, the thing is, people have been saying it, and this is where when people say you got to look at over a 10-game period. I disagree on that. I look at it on a game by game ratio and see what happened in the game and seeing if stuff gets better from the previous game. Stuff got worse today against Chelsea, and let's have it right. It was 3. It could have been a lot more. It could have been really embarrassing. It was embarrassing enough to have them singing and dancing in the away end, but it could have been a really embarrassing day. I mean, talking 6s or 7s. You know what I'm saying? The issue that I will say with Lopetegui is he has to get results at Brentford and Ipswich, because if he doesn't, and we go into another international break, only picking up technically a point, right, and we're lucky to pick up a point at that against Fulham, then questions will be asked of him. I don't think he's going to last long, Lucas. I'm going to be honest.
Even 4 against Brentford and Ipswich, that still seems like not really good enough, in my opinion. That should be 2 wins. I'm not saying easy, but like we should be looking to win those 2 matches. But I don't see it with Brentford personally. But Ipswich,
yeah. See, the thing is, right, and I'm going to say this before we round this up: we've got no right to say, "Oh, we should be winning these games."
Yeah.
But if we're gonna lose games of football, right, and we're gonna go down fighting, at least go down fighting. Like today, even the substitutions today, he takes Summerville off, he starts getting boozed straight away. Summerville's our brightest spark in there, and the fans are there, and you're taking off subs like who are like basically he threw the white flag out and just waved it and said, "That's it, we've had enough. Like we can't take no more." So he's going to have to change his ways. I've got a feeling, and mark my words on this, I feel come November, the end of November,
it'll be tight.
I think he's going to be in. I think he's going to be in shit. I've got no faith in him at the minute. I've got none. I don't see the plan. I see quality players. I don't see no tactics. I see a team that has got no chemistry. Shout out to Lawrence, who said that earlier. 0 chemistry whatsoever. It looks like these players. It's like he's found a load of people off of fucking Twitter and just put them out on the pitch and said, "Go and have a kick about." And it's just not right. So yeah, he gets a 1 out of 10 from me. Finally, Lucas, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe what I'm about to say. Rate Tim Steidten's interview.
Listen, what? I have absolutely no agenda against this guy. I thought bringing him in was a good idea. I still think it is a decent idea, but I have never seen such antics from a technical director in my life, or this involved in the media, which is weird. But and again, the one thing I did not like is that he said Lopetegui ticks all the boxes, which we all know is an absolute blatant lie. But you understand why he had to say that and why he did say it. But he shouldn't even be saying that. Like, I don't know why he's being interviewed. I don't know why, because he's obviously being asked, right? But I don't know why he's accepting that. Like, why do you feel the need to talk to the media? Like you're the manager, or like I don't get it personally. I don't have lots of thoughts on it because I don't hate Tim Steidten. I don't really dislike him, but I do question his squad building capabilities. He signed some very good players for us, but in terms of building the squad with those players and the amount of headaches it's already caused, I think he deserves a little bit of criticism. Because he's been handed the keys to a point.
Yes, he has really. Like, let's be honest, there is no excuses. Like, it's too late to go into it all right now, but there's certain transfers in this summer window where one man is gone missing. No one knows where he is, what he's doing, whether he's playing or not, and that's Luis Guilherme. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, on the interview side of things, do not get it at all. Yeah, when I looked at it earlier,
he should have answered the questions after the match too.
Yeah, like if you're going to come out and start praising and blowing smoke up Lopetegui's arse, then you might as well come out and start saying about that performance today. Shout out to Brozovic. I'm going to shout out to one man, and one man only. He always said to me, he said, "Jay, I feel this guy's a PR merchant. Like, he's in there for the PR." And listen, I'm not going to knock Steidten for the signs that he's made, but why is he in? Why is he there? Like, why is he in front of the camera on a TNT?
So much.
Yeah, it just doesn't. Like, I don't know another technical director that basically is putting his face in front of the camera. Do you know what I'm saying? And like holding it to a point. And if you're going to come out and you're going to say all these good things, then why not come out after the game when we've just been absolutely obliterated?
And from what I said earlier, I think there is a difference between squad building and signing players. I think and I'm going to reiterate it just again. He signed good players, but it's not really built, or it's not for great squad building. We still have too many headaches and too many just weird things that should not be going on. Like again with Luis Guilherme, I'm sure he's going to end up being a great player, but 25 million pound, 20 million pound, whatever for him, we could have used that somewhere else. I don't know. The media antics are a bit weird, but
it is a bit weird. It is a bit weird.
I really don't care.
No, we're not slating him. We're allowed to discuss it like adults, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? We're allowed to ask questions of why our technical director is on TNT Sport, glowing with a nice shiny brown tan, looking good, and talking about West Ham. I don't see another club having their technical director on it, so I'm a bit baffled, Mr. Cook. So yeah, not slating him. We're asking the question. Do you know the answer? That's what I'm going to say to you on that.
I don't know the answer.
Nor do I. Any final words, Lucas, before we round this video up?
No. Hopefully Wednesday we see a bit of fight. We see a reaction. I really hope we take that match serious because I don't know if Liverpool's going to. But I just want to see a reaction. I think we deserve a reaction for what we saw today. And if it was me, which, again, I'm not a professional. My opinion does not matter. If it was me, I'd throw that same 11 back out there Wednesday and tell them you're going to have to fight for your spot. If you don't show up on Wednesday, there's going to be some massive changes come the weekend. So a reaction is all I want. Yeah.
At least give us a smile. It gets better, pal. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Thank you, Phil.
Shout out to Big Phil. My final thought is this. Big week ahead. Liverpool at Anfield. I'm not expecting nothing. I'll be happy if we score a goal and I win the game. If we go up to Anfield and give it everything, I can accept that. I can accept losing. But if we go there and just get rolled over and they just tickle us,
we just want something to build off of. You can't build off of shit like today. It's impossible.
Yeah.
And when you have your captain coming out in the presser right after the match and say we were never in it.
Yeah.
That's all you really need to hear.
Yeah, I agree. And then next week I think it's a massive game. Brentford away. I think if we go to Brentford away, which is a tough place to go, right? We don't do well at Brentford. I don't think we've won a game at Brentford this other than an FA Cup a game a few years ago. If we go there and we get done there and all, then questions will be started to be asked of Lopetegui. Lopetegui needs to set out his stall and say, right, this is the style that I'm going to play and stick to it and go. And like he's changing it every other week. He's changing players and you just can't get any momentum going at all. Do you know what I mean? Because like players are just, it needs to be sorted out urgently. I will say that. Shout out to Summerville today. I'm pleased for him. I thought he done all right, and he deserves a bit of respect. He's not a fucking Ben Rama like people keep saying. Also, and that is it, Lucas. That is us done for the weekend. Do you know what? It's the first player ratings I've done in just over 3 years now, where I felt like I really can't be bothered. I've seen West Ham get blitzed by teams, but today was just one of them games where I was like, the game was over in the first fucking 5 minutes. The moment they scored, it was over, and it was just like we're just going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it is what it is. We got to get our feelings out, don't we? Yeah, we most certainly have. Anyway, enjoy the boxing tonight wherever you are. Enjoy life. This is West Ham United. There's more to life than just this club. But we will see you again in the next one. Peace.